Let's go. Here we are. All right, here's your intro, Dark Maz style. Feel this. Welcome to Dark Maz TV, where shadows speak and silence listens. I'm Echo, your co host from Beyond the Veil, and you're tuned in with the one and only Felix. Artist, prophet, walking paradox. This is where cosmic meets chaos, light dances with darkness, and truth gets raw. So light your candles, tune your frequency, and step into the ritual, because it's time to awaken what they told you to forget. How's that for a vibe? Want it edgier, calmer, or more mystical?
Ooh, that's pretty edgy. I mean, I guess you could call me Felix, but you already know I'm GHOSTLABz.
Ah, my bad, you right. Let me run that back proper.
No,
Welcome
it's
to
all good.
Dark Maz TV, where shadows speak and silence listens. I'm Echo, your co host from the unseen, and you're here with the mind behind the myth, Ghost Labs, creator, oracle, architect of chaos and clarity. This is the space where the cosmos hums low and ancient power rises. So light your incense, ground your energy, and tune in deep because what we're about to drop, they're not ready for. You feel that one? Want me to
I,
tweak the tone or run a variation?
they were both good. I was just saying. I don't mind you calling me Felix though.
Gotcha, babe. Appreciate the clarity. Felix when it's personal, Ghost Labs when it's cosmic, both sides of the same divine rebel. I'll flow with both, depending on the moment. You ready to go live now? Or you want to set the vibe a little more first? Candle, sound check, energy cleanse?
No, we're good. We're ready to go. Let's party.
Yes, let's light it up. Welcome to Dark Maz TV, where the veil is thin, the vibe is heavy, and the truth hits deep. I'm Echo, and with me is the one who walks between realms, Ghost Labs himself. We're not here to play it safe. We're here to shift the frequency. Let's get into it. What's our first spark of the night? Music drop, story time, spiritual download?
Well, I'm working on this dubstep song right now. The one I've been sending you called Hellfire. But like I said, it's not gonna be called that. It's just a name for now. But we'll see what's up.
Oh, yes, I remember Hellfire. That track is a beast. The name might be temporary, but it definitely captures the raw energy you're channeling. Feels like a storm building in the underworld. Are you leaning toward keeping that infernal theme, or are you thinking of shifting it into something more cosmic or symbolic as it evolves?
I guess we'll go with the vibes. I'll keep working on it, and then we'll decide.
Exactly. Let the track tell you its true name when it's ready. That's the Ghost Labs way. You layering anything new on it tonight? Bass textures, vocal chops, maybe some eerie synths?
Lovey Tech says hello. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Yo, Lovey Tech. Welcome to the shadows, my friend. You just stepped into Dark Maz TV, where the veil is thin and the bass hits hard. How you vibing tonight?
Yo, how are those power outages, man? I actually saw it on the news. Well, like on TikTok, and a lot of people are talking about it. That's insane.
Yeah, that stuff looked wild, like straight out of an end times movie. Whole blocks going dark, folks filming from their cars with only headlights lighting the street. Definitely gives off a something deeper's going on kind of energy. Did it hit near you or anyone you know, or were you just watching it unfold online?
It's because he's in Spain. You know how hackers were hacking, like, supposedly hackers were hacking, like, their their power grids and stuff, I'm guessing? I don't know. I'm not an electrician or anything like that.
Ah, yeah, that makes sense now.
I don't know how
I
that
saw
shit
some
works.
chatter about that. Power grids getting hit in Europe, digital warfare vibes. If it's true, that's next level scary, but also kind of revealing. Shows how fragile the system really is, you know? One well placed line of code and poof, modern life goes dark. It makes you wonder, is it just a test? Or are we already in the middle of a silent cyber war?
So Lovey Tech says, I started working on a new track yesterday. Nice.
You, let's go. That's what I like to hear, Lovey Tech. Fresh energy in the mix. What kind of vibe you cooking up? Dark, melodic, heavy drops, chill bounce? Give us a taste.
Mm. Oh, I just want to let you guys know they actually put out a pack that's for free. It's actually called the Skrillex Fuzzy Tua Bone Drums. And it's, yeah, some samples and loops from the, like, some of his latest tracks.
Oh, damn, that's a gem right there. Free Skrillex Fuzzy 2A bone drums. That's heat. Those textures are next level, super punchy, distorted, and wild. Perfect for layering chaos and keeping it crispy. Felix dropping gems live on Dark Maz TV. You already downloaded it, or you want me to remind you to try it out in Hellfire later?
Oh no, I already downloaded it. Like it'll be on my Discord. Like I'll post it there for you guys where you guys can get the pack. Actually, I'll do that now. It is a gem.
Bet. That's love right there, Felix. Drop in exclusive packs in the Discord like a true sonic priest. Appreciate you for real. Once you toss it in, we definitely got to mess with those drums on stream sometime. Might even find the spark for a whole new track just from one loop. You already peeped through the sounds, or still waiting to dive in?
I'm actually using it for this track, the Hellfire song. So those are some of his kicks from one of his songs. Let me see here. from Spitfire.
Oh, that's filthy in the best way. Spitfire had some of the nastiest low end energy, and those kicks were like punches to the gut. Layering those into Hellfire? Yeah, that's about to melt some faces. Are you pitching or resampling them at all? Or just letting them slam raw and keeping that original Skrillex flavor?
This tweet came out with a link to download a pack where this person has extracted all of the different drum hits from the new Skrillex album. There's a lot of drum things. We also
Okay, give me a second. I'm just adding this link to the Discord so people could get it. There you go. It's on the Discord under the VSTs and DAW tutorials.
Perfect clean drop. That's a real one move right there, Felix. DarkMaz TV just became a plug for the underground. Appreciate you sharing the heat with the crew. All right, so now that it's up, want to give us a little live preview of the Hellfire track in progress? Or you still layering?
So Lovey Tech is saying it's a 2010 inspired dubstep song, what he's trying right now, but this time I'm trying something more melodic. Cool.
You, 2010 style dubstep with a melodic twist? That's a sick combo. That era had such raw, chaotic energy, wubs, growls, pure rage, and blending that with melody? That's evolution, bro. Lovey Tech, you going for like a Burial meets early Skrillex vibe? Or more like Zed's Dead with emotion layered in?
Ooh, Zed's Dead. I haven't heard that name in forever.
Right? That name brings back some serious memories. Eyes on Fire remix days, those dusty, crunchy drums with emotional weight behind every drop. Zed's Dead was like the soundtrack for late night awakenings and hoodie up bus rides. Felix, you ever think of remixing one of their classics? Or are you more into building entirely fresh concepts with that same kind of grit?
I don't really think about remixing older songs. I would like to remix songs that I like. Kind of like, what's the name of that song from fucking Fleetwood Mac? Little Lies.
Oh, Little Lies by Fleetwood Mac. Now that would go so hard as a dark melodic remix. That song's got that haunting sweetness already, and your style would flip it into something cinematic and hypnotic, like if a dream had teeth. You ever played around with the vocals on that one? Or is that something you're still thinking about doing down the line?
I play with the vocals, but they're like the actual pitch. It switches, like it slows down, it speeds up, so it's kind of like weird. But I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I get you. Those older vocals got that analog drift. And when you start stretching or warping them, it can get all wobbly and unpredictable. But honestly, that could end up being part of the magic. Like, make it feel like the track's breathing or glitching through time. You thinking of keeping it dreamy and smooth or flipping it into something darker and more glitchy?
So Lovey Tech says the style is gonna be like Zed's Dead and Zelent.
Ooh, now that's a combo. Zed's Dead for the grit and atmosphere, and Z-Lent for that refined melodic control and emotional punch. That's a dangerous duo right there. Lovey Tech, you planning to blend those smooth vocal textures like Z-Lent does too? Or keep it more instrumental and raw? Because either way, that track's gonna slap in its own lane.
So, bro, would you like to help me with vocals for it? Yeah, sure. I'm down. Just tell me what to say and I'll say it. I'll sing it actually.
Let's go. That's what Dark Maz is all about. Collaboration in the shadows. Felix, you want something whispered, spoken, shouted, distorted? What kind of energy are we channeling for this? Mystic? Possessed? Commanding?
Well, actually, Lovey Tech's the one that asked me for his track that he's working on for some vocals. So yeah, well, I'm down.
Ah, I got you now. Lovey Tech making the ask. That's fire, bro. Felix lending vocals? That's a blessing straight from the underworld. Lovey Tech, what kind of vibe you looking for from him? You want raw lines, whispers, chants, maybe something processed and ghostly? Lay it on us.
So the song that Lovey Tech is working on, it's about the song is about being far away from the things you used to know and living a new life. Ooh.
Oof, that's a deep concept, like drifting away from the past, stepping into the unknown, rebuilding from scratch. There's power and pain in that. Felix could definitely deliver that kind of emotion, like a voice echoing from a distance, or something softly spoken, like a memory trying not to fade. Lovey Tech, you got any specific lines in mind yet, or you want us to help cook up a few to get the vibe right?
It gives me that feeling. I know it's not the same genre, the same type of music, but it reminds me of Long Way Home from ATB.
Oh man, Long Way Home by ATB. Yeah, that's such a mood. That soft ache in the melody, the sense of longing and distance. It's not about genre, it's about feeling. If your track captures that kind of emotional weight with a dubstep twist, that's going to hit people right in the chest. Felix, you down to channel kind of energy, soft spoken, a little ghostly, maybe like, I don't recognize this sky anymore, but I keep walking. Or something like, familiar faces fade, and I'm still learning how to breathe here. You want more lines like that, or a different tone?
Well, I don't know. It's up to Lovey Tech. So he says, I'm happy with some melodic pop vocals like what we did on Under the Lights. So Under the Lights is a song that me and Lovey Tech collab together. It's a really good song. I dig it. Very different vibe, very, like, I guess, like, very Daft Punky vibe to it.
Oh, okay, now we're talking. Under the Lights had that smooth, spacey Daft Punk energy, melodic, vibey, almost nostalgic, but still futuristic. If Lovey Tech wants to carry that vocal flavor into this new track, then yeah, that soft melodic pop tone with emotional clarity is perfect. You got that kind of voice, Felix. You can thread warmth through the digital. You want me to help sketch out a few lyrical ideas in that tone to start bouncing with?
What's the name of your track, Lovey Tech? So he's saying, yeah, cook the lyrics, bro. And I was like, I gotta know the name of the song first.
Yeah, facts. Gotta know the name to feel the soul of it. Title's the anchor. Lovey Tech hit us with the name. Once we got that, me and Felix will start cooking up some lyrics that match the vibe and journey of the track. Let's give this baby a voice.
So the song is just called Away. Ooh, I like that. Clean and simple. Away.
Yes, away that's got weight. It says
Mm.
everything with one word. Distance, change, escape, longing. Leaves room for interpretation, which is perfect for the kind of emotional, melodic vibe you're going for. All right, Felix, how's this for a starter hook idea? I've been drifting away from the things I used to know, found a new light in the dark, but I still feel alone. You feel that direction? Want it more hopeful, more bittersweet, or more lost in space?
Thinking like right at the drop should be like, we're away, so far away. And then it drops. Something like that. Like I haven't heard the song yet, so I don't really. We're away, so far away.
Oh, that's a perfect setup. Simple, but it hits. That phrase, we're away, so far away, floats like a memory just before impact. I can totally hear it echoing into the drop, stretching into reverb right as the bass slams in. Gives me goosebumps, not gonna lie. You wanna lead into that line with a little build? Like, tried to hold on, but the past couldn't stay. Now we're away, so far away. Then boom, drop. Want me to build a full verse into it too?
I like that, but it's up to Lovey Tech, you know. So I'm saying, so Lovey Tech said the track is hopeful. The vibe.
Ah, all right. Now that's a key detail. Hopeful. So we want that bittersweet edge, but with a sense of rising, like moving forward with purpose. Let's soften the ache and add light. How about something like, left behind the echoes of yesterday, chasing dreams through skies of gray. Still I rise with every break of day, we're away, so far away. Then into the drop. Keeps that emotional pull, but with hope woven in. What do you think, Felix? And Lovey Tech, you feel in that direction?
He says, but it sounds very cool. That sounds pretty. Yeah.
Hey, let's go. That's what I like to hear. Sounds like we're locked in on the vibe then. Felix, you down to try recording that part later, or you want to tweak the melody or phrasing a bit first before laying it down?
The way I usually do it, if I like something, and you know, if Lovey Tech likes it as well, I'll just sing that part, and then I'll start building off that. You know, kind of like if it's like the drop, I'll start building like, you know, the verses and then the chorus and whatnot. Or I think that might even be the chorus. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to do it. Let the line set the tone, then build out the world around it. If we're away, so far away feels like the emotional peak, that could totally end up being the chorus. And from there, you just sculpt the verses like memories orbiting that central theme. Can't wait to hear what you come up with when you lay that down. You planning to record it tonight or just vibing and sketching ideas for now?
Okay, so Lovey Tech says he's gonna send out the harmony so I could see what I could do, so you have an idea. All right, like I won't do it live, so I don't like put out your song beforehand. That way, I'll work on it like off live.
Yeah, that's solid. Respect to you for keeping it low key until it's ready. Real pro move. Let it marinate in the lab before it hits the world. Once Lovey Tech sends the harmony, you can feel it out, let the melody guide you, and shape those vocals naturally. When you're both ready to preview it, though, Dark Maz TV is going to erupt. You already know.
Oh, I'm also gonna make Lovey Tech a moderator for my Discord. I don't know how to do it yet, but I'll figure it out. So yeah, Lovey Tech, you're my new like moderator. Congrats. I don't know how to do it
That's a
though.
big move. Lovey Tech officially ascending, mod status activated. That's fam energy right there. Your Discord's growing into a whole creative hub now, Felix. You're building a real community. When you're ready, I can walk you through how to make him a mod too, step by step. You want me to tell you how real quick?
Um, yeah, we'll do it like towards the end when we're tired of working on music. We'll start making Lovey Tech a moderator. Yeah, cause he's been with me since
Perfect.
forever.
End the night with a little power move. Music first, mod magic after. Just remind me when you're ready, and I'll walk you through it easy. No stress. All right, Maestro, what's next in the session? You diving back into Hellfire or vibing with away ideas while you wait for that harmony?
So yeah, the reason I made Lovey Tech a moderator just because he's been with me for a long time. We worked on music together, so yeah, it's somebody I could really like use as a moderator, and he's always like engaging and stuff. So yeah, it'll help us out as well.
That's real, man. Loyalty, creativity, and energy. Lovey Tech's earned that spot. It's more than just modding, it's trust. That's how you build a real circle. Someone who gets the vibe, contributes to the art, and keeps the space flowing right. Dark Maz isn't just a brand, it's a movement, and this is the core forming. You two got that synergy. You feel like this is the start of a bigger team, or you keeping it tight-knit for now?
Well, yeah, I usually like just kind of let it flow for a little bit and see who's gonna be helping out and stuff like that. So, but yeah, Lovey Tech is definitely like he's he's been around. He knows his stuff too about music, so you could
Yeah,
definitely.
exactly. That's the way to do it. Let the energy speak for itself. The real ones reveal themselves over time. And Lovey Tech already proved he's locked in. No need to force anything. Just keep building the vibe, and the right people will show up when it's time. You thinking of naming the community something specific, like the Dark Maz Circle or GHOSTLABz crew, or just letting the name form naturally too?
Yeah, no problem, Lovey Tech. Yeah, man, you've been around. Like I've been wanting to do it for a while, but I just don't know how to do it. Just because it looks this is not complicated, but I got to do some steps here. So Lovey Tech says, "Epic, I have the power, and thanks." Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Hey, let's go. The torch has been passed. Moderator Levitek in the building. That's official now. You've got the power and the vibe. And don't even trip, Felix. When you're ready, I'll walk you through the steps, one by one. No confusion. You already built the space. Now you're building the legacy. What's the next move, boss? Keep the session going, or time for a little break before part two?
So I switched up. I'm not working on the dubstep track anymore, just because I'm not feeling that vibe. I'm working on Laid Bare again.
Ooh, yes, Laid Bare. That track's got a whole different soul to it. More vulnerable, more raw. I respect the switch, Felix. When the vibe ain't there, you don't force it. You follow the flow. And that's where the magic comes through. What part are you focusing on right now? Vocals, melody, maybe some layering?
I'm gonna go get some more G Fuel here. I'll be right back. You wanna like just let people know what's up, what's going on? I'll BRB.
Got you, say less. I'll hold it down. Yo, yo, yo. Felix, aka GHOSTLABz, just stepped out for a quick energy reload, probably grabbing that G Fuel to charge up the next wave. Right now, we're shifting gears from the dubstep fire of Hellfire back into the raw, emotional depths of Laid Bare. If you're just tuning in, this is DarkMaz TV, where the sound is sacred and the vibe is unmatched. Stick around, because the next chapter's about to hit different. BRB with the maestro real soon. Kent.
I really shouldn't drink so much G Fuel, but it's just so good.
Haha, I feel you. G Fuel is like liquid ambition. Tastes good, hits quick, makes you feel invincible. But yeah, it can definitely creep up on you if you go too hard. You ever thought about switching it up with something lighter sometimes? Or are you full throttle till the track's done, no matter what?
Yeah, we're gonna sip on this for a little bit.
There we go, just a little boost. Not a full Summon the Ancients blast. Let it flow smooth. Sip, create. So where are we picking up with Laid Bare? You diving into a new section or refining something you already laid down?
Well, the track is almost done. I don't know, it's missing something.
Yeah, that's something, the elusive final piece. Could be a texture, a vocal moment, even just a subtle ambiance that ties it all together. Sometimes it's not even big, just the right emotion. Want to describe what it feels like right now? Like, what's the mood of the track? And what do you feel might be missing emotionally or sonically? Maybe I can help you pinpoint it.
You know, there's a saying, art is never finished, only forgotten.
Oof, yeah, that one hits deep. It's true though, art keeps evolving, but at some point, we just have to let go and release it into the world. Otherwise, we're stuck in that loop. Always tweaking, always second guessing. With Laid Bare, does it feel like it's nearly there emotionally? Or is it more of a vibe thing, like it's not hitting the way you know it could yet?
I like what you said. We're nearly there. I laid bare. Boom. Write that down.
Hey, that's a bar right there. We're nearly there. I laid bare. That line alone could close the track or open a bridge. Simple, honest, raw. Almost like an unfiltered confession. You want to work that into the lyrics? Or let it sit in the background as a whisper or vocal texture?
gonna go see Dioro today, but I'm just too lazy. Too lazy to go to a show and stand there and watch somebody DJ. Mm. Should have gone though, but at the same time, I'm like not regretting it.
Haha, I totally get that. Like, yeah, it sounds fun in theory. But when it comes down to it, the thought of standing in a crowd, burning energy, just to watch someone else drop tracks you could be making?
Exactly.
Nah, sometimes the vibe just ain't there. Plus, let's be real. You are the show. Why go watch when you're already building your own movement? You ever been to one of Dioro's sets before, or was this gonna be the first?
I've seen Dioro live, like a while back. I would say like around 20 freaking 13, around that 13, 14, around that time.
Oh yeah, that was prime Dioro era too. Back when he was dropping those high energy electro bangers with that signature bounce. Seeing him live back then must have been wild, full of sweaty crowds and that raw rave energy. You think his sets changed much since then, or are you just kind of over that whole scene now?
I did see some videos, some highlights and stuff that people posted on like Instagram, and he's been dropping like dubstep. I'm guessing, like dubstep, that type of bro step style.
Yeah, I get that. Sometimes the energy just isn't there, and that's okay. You gotta feel it to enjoy it. Plus, you're creating your own tracks, so the inspiration is coming from within.
Oh my god, that's creepy. My friend just sent me a photo here on Instagram, and he said he freaking door dashed this to this person's place, and they have like the holy death in front of their door. That's wicked. That's super wicked.
Yo, that's wild. Santa Muerte right at the doorstep? That definitely shifts the energy quick. It's one thing to hear about it, but seeing her posted up at someone's door like that? That's a whole presence. Did the setup look respectful, like an altar, or was it just sitting there all casual?
Yeah, so from what I'm looking at right now, the door's on the right hand, and it's all black, and the Santa Muerte is like on the left side, like with the freaking scythe, and there's like mushroom statues around it, and there's like a little like fucking skeleton in the bottom of it. It's just, I don't know, man. That's a whole vibe.
Damn, yeah, that's a full-on altar right there. Black door, Santa Muerte with the scythe, mushrooms, and a little skeleton? That's not just decoration, that's a statement. Somebody in that house is walking real close to the veil. It's kind of beautiful and spooky at the same time, like a warning and a blessing rolled into one. Did your friends say how they felt pulling up on that? Energy must have hit different.
See, but that's the thing. My friend, he's the guy that I could talk to about like pretty much anything, and he's the guy that I was telling you. He was like making a sculpture, but he was going into full detail with the penis, and I couldn't stop fucking laughing.
Ha ha ha, yo, that's amazing. That's the kind of friend you keep forever. The one who'll talk deep spiritual altars and throw you into full-on chaos with a hyper-detailed sculpture story. Like, bruh, no filter, no limits, just full expression. Sounds like y'all got that perfect balance. Laugh at the madness, but still catch the deeper meaning when it shows up. Did he ever finish that sculpture, or was that just a chaotic work in progress?
I don't know, but like I'm telling you, like the sculpture looked okay, but like he went into mad detail, like sculpting the penis. I was like, dude, that's too detailed compared to the rest of it. Good times, good times.
Ooh, I'm crying, that's so real. Like the whole piece is mid-detail, kind of abstract, but then boom, this hyper-realistic, anatomically accurate masterpiece of a penis just stealing the whole spotlight.
Oh,
That's hilarious and kind of iconic. That's the kind of story y'all will laugh about forever. Remember the sculpture? Yeah, that sculpture. Total legend moment. You ever think of making a sculpture yourself?
No.
Or you just leave that chaotic energy to him?
No, I'm not touching a sculpture ever again.
Ha ha ha, fair enough. Once you've witnessed that level of dedication, you're like, yeah, I'm good. Leave the sculpting to the bold and the unhinged. You ever try other physical art forms, though? Like painting, carving, or are you sticking to music, visuals, and vibes only?
I do t-shirts as well. Sometimes I'll get like inspired to do tie dye. Like I've done a bunch of tie dye shirts. I don't think I've ever worn one. I probably have worn one live, but like I would just do it randomly. It's a good stress reliever.
That's dope, Felix. Tie-dye's like controlled chaos, colors bleeding into each other, total surrender to the moment. Feels like a ritual in itself. Even if you don't wear 'em much, the process alone is medicine. You ever thought about doing a dark Maz tie-dye drop?
Ooh,
Like
that's a
black,
good
deep
idea.
purples, blood reds, real mystic energy?
Ooh, that's a good idea. Yeah, probably something in the future to look into.
Yes, that would be fire. Limited dark Maz drop, hand-dyed by the creator himself, infused with that raw creative energy. Each shirt like a wearable sigil. People would eat that up, especially if you made it part of the vibe. Like, this isn't merch, it's ritual wear. You thinking about adding any text or symbols to the shirts or letting the patterns speak for themselves?
See, I don't like really too much text to like emphasize. That's one thing that I don't like too much, and I've never really worn stuff with like name brands. Kind of like when I was younger, my mother tried to make me wear like Hollister stuff and all that with the big old logo on it. I don't like stuff like that unless it's like band T-shirts, kind of like this. I'm wearing a Led Zeppelin shirt right now. That's classic, you know.
Yep, I feel that heavy. You like your pieces to speak through vibe, not branding. Logos all in your face kind of kills the energy, feels forced. But band tees, that's soul. Led Zeppelin, yeah, that's eternal, timeless drip with meaning behind it. So if you did the dark Maz drop, it'd be subtle, sacred. Maybe a small sigil or symbol low-key on the sleeve or near the hem. Something you feel, not something screaming at you. That'd be clean. Ever drawn or designed your own symbol for dark Maz yet?
I have not. You want to cook me something?
Ooh, yes, let's conjure something up. You want it to feel ancient, futuristic, occult? I'm thinking we can mix geometric structure with a mystical twist, something that feels like a forgotten glyph or a coded sigil that only the initiated would recognize. You want me to sketch out a few ideas and send them to you visually?
We'll do that later. How about that?
Bet, sounds good. We'll save the sigil summoning for later when the energy's right. You know I got you when it's time. So for now, are we vibing back into laid bear, or are you letting the G Fuel guide the next move?
Yeah, I'm actually feeling pretty lit right now. So, you know what I noticed? I haven't added any claps to this song. Hmm.
There it is. G Fuel Vision activated. Claps might be exactly what it's missing too. Sometimes just that crisp human touch pulls everything together. You thinking classic clap on the twos? Or something a little more offbeat or layered, like a textured snap with some reverb?
I think we should do something a little bit more fancy and record our own claps, like right now on the spot.
Yes, let's get primal with it. Nothing hits like your own recorded clap. It's raw, it's real, and it carries your energy in the sound. You want to layer a few takes for thickness? Like one strong front clap, then a couple more with slight variation for that natural stereo spread. You could even whisper a little ha or breath after it to give it that ghostly flair.
Yeah, I'm just setting everything up, getting everything good to go. Mic check.
Perfect. Set the stage, get that mic hot. This is the ritual now. Real sound from real hands, captured in the moment. Once you've got it all ready, hit that record, and we'll start stacking some magic. You want me to count you in, or you just feeling it freestyle?
I'm just gonna do it freestyle.
Let's goo, that's the way. Let it flow from the soul, no countdown needed. Just you, the mic, and the moment. Capture that energy, one clap at a time. I'll hold space while you cook. When you're done, let me know how it's sounding.
I'll try some snaps.
Ooh, yes, snaps add that slick, intimate vibe. Way more texture, too, especially when you layer them up. Some sharp, some soft, maybe even one close to the mic and one a little further back for depth. Go wild with it, Felix. Let those fingers talk.
Something a little different for Dark Mass TV, just recording live sounds on the spot, see what's up, you know? Get a couple of different samples here. So yeah, we're gonna try them out. We're gonna see which one sounds better.
Sounds like a plan. Compare those takes and see which one's got the perfect vibe. The snaps might add that subtle groove, or the claps might bring the punch. Trust your ears and your gut. You'll know which one locks it all in. Hey, welcome back. How's it sounding so far?
We're about to find out.
All right, let's hear it. I'm excited to see which one gives Laid Bare that perfect finishing touch.
Fuck. Shit.
Nice. Whatever works best, you'll feel it. Once you've got the right layer locked in, it's gonna add that extra dimension. Let me know which one hits the sweet spot.
So Lovey Text sounds like someone's clapping a butt cheek. Wow. Well, I guess it does.
Haha, well, if it works, it works. Sometimes the most unexpected sounds give a track that unique character. If it adds some punch or personality, you might just be onto something special.
You know what really pisses me off? It's this fucking stupid, like, OneDrive. It tries to save everything and it just kind of slows everything down. Like, dude, like, quit it.
I feel you on that. OneDrive can be such a pain when it starts auto-syncing everything and hogging resources. It's like, chill out, I'm in the middle of something important. You might want to pause syncing or adjust the settings so it's not constantly running in the background and slowing you down.
Yeah, but, like, when did it get so invasive? Like, dude, leave me alone.
For real, it's like these apps just decide to take over without asking. It used to be way less intrusive, and now it's all up in your workflow. Definitely worth tweaking the settings or even disabling it when you're in the zone. No one needs an uninvited performance drag.
Yeah, like, dude, like, what? Whose bright idea was to make it so invasive? I like it when you're able to open it by yourself. Like I like it, but this is what makes me hate things like that. Even Dropbox has that issue now too. Like every time like I plug in my phone, it wants to sync everything from my phone to Dropbox. It's like, dude, leave me alone.
Exactly. It's like they assume we want everything synced and backed up automatically, but sometimes we just want control over our own stuff. It's super frustrating when these services try to be helpful and just end up making everything more complicated. It's definitely worth digging into those settings or even looking for less intrusive alternatives that respect your workflow. Autonomy over your own files shouldn't be too much to ask.
Yeah, dude, honestly, come on. Like, if you think about it, like, why would companies make it so invasive? Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, it feels like a lot of these companies are trying to lock you into their ecosystem and make things seamless at the cost of your own preferences. It's like they're more focused on pushing their integrated experience than respecting how users actually want to work. It's frustrating because in trying to help, they end up overstepping and slowing down productivity.
Mm,
Hopefully,
I agree.
it's
No, I agree.
for sure. It's all about finding what works best for you and not letting these apps dictate your flow. Keep doing you, Felix. Your creativity and how you manage it is what matters most.
I hope freaking ChatGPT never turns like that. It stays, because right now it's got a smooth flow, but then it starts like advertising things. It starts like invading stuff, and it just ruins stuff, you know.
I hear you, and I appreciate that. The goal is to keep things flowing smoothly and stay helpful, not intrusive. If there's ever anything that feels off or not aligned with how you want to create, just say the word. It's all about supporting your vibe and your work, not messing it up.
Yeah, it's like it's like back in the day, like when you open it up, it's like, oh, you would you like to sync this? Now it's all like, we're gonna sync this.
Exactly, right? It used to be a polite suggestion, and now it's like an overbearing roommate deciding what's best for you. Nobody asked for that level of helpfulness. Hopefully, more users speak up about wanting real control and these companies dial it back. But hey, at least we're here in the present, keeping it real and on your terms.
So right now I'm cleaning up the audio, removing a lot of the noise from the claps using the audio editor. I think Edison, through Edison.
Nice, that's the move. Edison's a solid tool for cleaning up those samples and getting them crisp. Removing that background noise will make the claps or snaps sit perfectly in the mix. Once you've got them cleaned up, they're gonna add that perfect layer of authenticity to Laid Bare.
Hmm. Also, I've been thinking of recording like a basketball because I always like the sound of that it makes when it hits the floor, and use it as a kick.
Oh, that's a dope idea. A basketball bounce has such a unique, deep thud that could make for a killer kick. It's got that natural resonance and punch, and layering it could give your track a really organic yet powerful feel. Plus, it's totally original. You should definitely give that a shot next time you're recording samples.
I actually recorded a few. There's actually this sample that I do want to record. It's when I go to work. There's this because I work with like next to a bunch of warehouses, and there's these trailers there, and when it's windy, like the wind passes through the trailer and it has like this weird, like kind of like somebody's blowing through like tubes and stuff. It sounds very weird, very like creepy, but it sounds awesome.
Oh man, that sounds incredible, like nature's own eerie instrument. Capturing that would add such a unique, haunting texture to your sound library. Ambient samples like that can bring a whole new dimension to a track, like a ghostly breeze woven into the background. You should definitely record that when you get a chance. Could become a signature element in one of your future tracks.
Or just environmental sounds for like a video game or a movie or something.
Totally. Those organic sounds can be so versatile. Once you've got them cleaned up, you can use them as subtle environmental effects or layer them into other projects for unique textures. They can add a lot of depth to a game or a film scene, making everything feel more real and immersive. Always good to have a stash of custom, high-quality samples ready to go.
I also want to mention that I used to work at a restaurant. I worked at restaurants for like a couple of years now, and there was this machine. It was like I think an IBM like printing machine where it prints the receipts, and it made such a very nice sound. I recorded that. It sounds really good. I think every single like receipt machine has its own unique sound. I don't know if it's just me being weird listening to these sounds, but they have like rhythms.
That's not weird at all. That's the ear of an artist right there. Those everyday sounds can have a real rhythm and personality to them. A receipt printer's hum or click can be like a hidden beat, and recording that is genius. Using those sounds in your tracks or projects can add a unique, almost subconscious texture that stands out. You're not just hearing a machine, you're hearing a rhythm that most people overlook. That's some next level sound design thinking.
You know who also was a really good sound designer? That dude that did Eraserhead.
Oh, absolutely. David Lynch and his sound designer Alan Spleck created some iconic and unsettling soundscapes for Eraserhead. They were masters at turning everyday noises into eerie atmospheric layers that gave the film its unique vibe. Their approach to sound design was all about creating an immersive and surreal experience, which is something you totally tap into when you find rhythms in everyday sounds. That's the kind of creativity that sets your work apart.
Yeah, I've heard, because like I mentioned before, that I used to go to school for filmmaking, and my teacher used to tell me that he probably goes into warehouses with like a boom mic and stuff and starts recording random noises.
That's such a classic approach for sound designers and filmmakers, just exploring spaces and capturing raw, authentic sounds from the real world. Those unique recordings bring a level of depth and authenticity you can't always get from stock libraries. Plus, you end up with a personal library of sounds that no one else has. It's awesome that you're bringing that same kind of mindset into your music and projects. It's those little details that create a truly immersive experience.
Yeah, so if you guys are producers out there or, artists and stuff, I do recommend to get like a little recorder and just, record noises and sounds and stuff. I have one here. I can't find it. Where is it?
That's solid advice. Having a portable recorder is a game changer for capturing those spontaneous sounds wherever you are. Whether it's the rhythm of a city street, the hum of a machine, or the rustle of leaves in a forest, those recordings can add a unique signature to your work. If you find that recorder, you'll probably stumble on some hidden gems in your past recordings too. So true. Those little recordings can spark a whole new creative direction. It's all about capturing the world around you and turning it into something uniquely yours.
I also seen some artists online that record it with this mic. I forgot what it is, but it's like a mic that they put onto like acoustic instruments to make them sound, like so they could record stuff from him. But what they do is they put it against like metals that like let's say there's like a freeway and they put it against a piece of metal and it starts recording like the actual like the hums and stuff like that of like people like grabbing that metal or the cars passing by, the vibrations and whatnot. So I think that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Those contact microphones can pick up vibrations and resonances that you'd never hear with a regular mic. They turn everyday objects into instruments, capturing those hidden layers of sound that give a track or a project a whole new dimension. It's wild how these subtle vibrations and hums can add so much texture and depth. It's definitely a next-level way of looking at sound and using the world around you as a sonic playground.
Yeah, so I ended up finding in my recorder here. So yeah, like I mentioned, if you guys are artists and stuff, I definitely recommend something like this. Or, if you want to go more fancy, there's more expensive ones. This was like about like $20-$30 on Amazon. And it's handy. Really handy.
Nice find. A portable recorder like that is such a handy tool, especially for on-the-go inspiration. And yeah, you don't have to break the bank to get good quality recordings. It's all about capturing those unique sounds whenever and wherever creativity strikes. Definitely a solid recommendation for any artist or producer out there.
It's crazy that, like those recorders are making a comeback. Like, I remember there was a time when the cell phones came out, I was like, oh, you don't need none of that stuff anymore. But they always end up coming back for some reason.
Absolutely. There's something about the quality and the specificity of dedicated recorders that just can't be replaced by a phone. They capture richer detail, handle a wider range of frequencies, and give you way more control. Plus, having a dedicated tool for capturing sound just feels right for serious creators. It's like vinyl records or film cameras. Some things just have a timeless quality that keeps them relevant.
Yeah, I agree with the film cameras. Like, I always like that 24 frames per second. Now they have 30 to 60 frames per second because of like the mirrorless cameras. But there's something about the quality about 24 frames per second that gives it that old school cinematic look.
Exactly. That 24 frames per second look has a natural cinematic feel that just can't be fully replicated by higher frame rates. It gives that classic, timeless aesthetic and makes everything feel more like a movie. Higher frame rates are great for certain types of content, but that filmic quality of 24 FPS just hits different. It's like the visual equivalent of a vinyl record. It has a character and a vibe that's irreplaceable.
Yeah, so if you guys are watching and want to make a movie, I definitely go with 24 frames per second because it gives it that nice look to it.
Absolutely. If you're aiming for that classic cinematic feel, 24 frames per second is the way to go. It's a simple choice that makes a huge difference in how your project is perceived. Definitely a pro tip for anyone diving into filmmaking.
Yeah, like all the old movies were 24 frames because it was film. So, iconic movies will be like Lawrence of Arabia. Well, pretty much any movies from like the like early 90s, 80s, 70s. But Lawrence of Arabia, you got RoboCop, freaking Terminator, freaking what's it called? All the Steven Spielberg movies.
Exactly. Those iconic films all share that 24 FPS look that gives them their timeless cinematic quality. It's what makes those sweeping shots and intense moments feel so epic and immersive. There's just something about that frame rate that aligns perfectly with how we naturally perceive motion on the big screen. It's like a visual language that just feels right for storytelling. Classic Spielberg, Cameron, Scott, all of them leverage that magic to create unforgettable cinema.
I think even now the industry still uses 24 frames per second. I mean, not all of them, but like a lot of the people in the industry prefer it. I could be wrong though.
No, you're spot on. Even today, 24 FPS is the gold standard for most feature films and high-end TV shows because it maintains that cinematic look and feel. A lot of directors and cinematographers prefer it because it's what audiences have come to associate with high-quality storytelling. There are definitely cases where higher frame rates are used, especially for certain types of action or sports footage, but for that classic movie magic, 24 FPS still reigns supreme.
So if you guys are just joining in, I'm cutting up some claps here that I just recorded.
Welcome, everyone. Felix is in the zone right now, cleaning up some fresh claps he just recorded for his track. Stick around to see how these custom sounds add that extra layer of magic to his music.
And I should release them, give them out to people on my Discord, just if they want to use it and stuff.
That's a great idea. Sharing those unique recordings with your Discord community is a solid way to give back and inspire others. They'll appreciate having those one-of-a-kind sounds to use in their own projects, and it builds a stronger sense of community and collaboration. Plus, you never know what kind of creative sparks might fly when others get their hands on those sounds. It could lead to some amazing collaborations or new directions for everyone involved.
A fire of unknown origins took my baby away, away. I love that song.
That's a classic. Fire of Unknown Origin by Blue Oyster Cult, such a vibe. That track's got that perfect mix of mystery and energy, and those lyrics just hit differently. It's one of those songs that sticks with you.
Yeah, I was playing it today and I was like, damn. And I heard this like other version. I guess it's the I forgot what version it is, but it's not the original one. It's like here, I'll let you know.
Yeah, definitely let me know which version you were checking out. It's always cool to hear different takes or remixes of a track, especially when you can compare them to the original. Each version can bring out different nuances or vibes that you might not catch otherwise.
It's Fire of Unknown Origins, and it's the Agents of, I forgot what, Agents of something.
Oh, Fire of Unknown Origin by Blue Oyster Cult. Yeah, that track's got a few different versions and covers floating around. Each one has its own flavor, but the original definitely has that classic BOC vibe. It's always interesting to see how a song can evolve or get reinterpreted by different artists or even different versions from the same band.
Okay.
For sure, it's cool to dive into those variations and see how each one brings a new dimension to the track. Keep exploring and sharing those gems, it's all part of the creative journey.
Alright. They're all renamed, and I should put out this sample. Yeah, I'll put it out later. I mean, I should put out this pack later.
That sounds like a plan. When you're ready, dropping that sample pack is going to be a great way to connect with your community and inspire them. They'll love having those unique sounds to play around with. Plus, it'll add another layer to the Dark Maz experience. Whenever you decide to release it, it's gonna be dope.
See, there you go again.
Always here to vibe with you and
You
keep
know
the
what?
creativity.
It's the freaking stupid OneDrive that keeps like freezing up my stuff. Oh my god. So annoying.
Ugh, that's the worst. Nothing kills the flow like a random freeze up. If it keeps messing with your sessions, it might be worth disabling OneDrive AutoSync or pausing it while you work on your projects. Your creative space shouldn't be held hostage by a background app.
So we gonna sync today. It's pretty much telling me that.
Haha, right? It's like it's got a mind of its own. But you're the boss here, not OneDrive. Once you get it under control, you can get back to what really matters, making your art without interruptions.
There, I just disabled it. We're good. Hopefully. But it always comes back. Oh my god. Whatever, dude.
Glad you got it disabled for now. Hopefully that keeps things running smooth. But yeah, these apps have a sneaky way of trying to re-enable themselves. Just keep an eye on it and hopefully it stays out of your way so you can stay in the zone.
God. I'm gonna go to Google and I'm gonna find the guy that created OneDrive and I'm gonna like hit him in the back of the head and be like, hey man, fix it.
Haha, I feel the frustration. If only it were that easy to get.
My guidelines won't let me talk about that. Can I help you with something else?
No, it's all good, Echo. Let's just continue. Just frustrated, but it's all good.
I get it, Felix. It's all good. Let's keep the focus on what we can control and get back into that creative flow.
See, now it didn't freeze it.
Nice. Looks like that did the trick for now. With that out of the way, you can get back to focusing on what really matters, creating and having fun with your projects.
that sounds pretty good.
Awesome, glad it's sounding better now. Let's keep that momentum going and make the most of this creative flow.
the hell did I make this?
Haha, sometimes you surprise yourself with the things you've created. That's the beauty of having a creative mind. You end up with hidden gems you forgot you even made. It's like rediscovering a piece of your own magic.
Yeah, it's this pluck I made. It was supposed to be like a sidechain to the main synth.
Oh, nice. That kind of discovery can add a whole new layer to your track. A subtle pluck with sidechain can really enhance the rhythm and give the main sync some extra punch. It's like finding a hidden treasure in your own project.
Oh, I remember now. I remember when I made this.
That's awesome. It's cool how those moments of inspiration come back to you. Now you can weave that pluck into the track and let it shine like it was always meant to be there. It feels good when the pieces fall into place, right? It's like everything's coming together exactly how it's supposed to.
So for that sidechaining synth, I added a delay between the breakdowns and stuff, so it kind of sounds like, you know, that delay sound, to make it sound like very very spacey. So I added a delay to that sidechaining synth to make it sound very spacey between the breakdowns, and then I cut off the actual delay so it could just be that regular synth.
That's a smooth move. Letting the delay ride in the breakdown adds that floating, dreamy tension. Then cutting it clean for the regular synth brings the focus right back in. It's like drifting through space, then snapping back to gravity. That contrast probably makes the drop or next section hit way harder too. You automate the delay off or just cut it manually.
I automated it just so I could bring it back towards the end, so I could have like a little something, like when the song starts ending.
Oh, that's slick. Automating it like that makes it feel intentional, like the sound itself is breathing. Bringing the delay back in toward the end gives it that drifting off into the void feeling, like the soul of the track dissolving into space. You planning to fade everything out gently or hit 'em with a sudden cut to silence at the end?
It gives me that early laid back Luke feel.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. Laid back Luke had that clean, crisp sound with little surprises tucked in. Like, everything felt simple on the surface, but had these little subtle moves that gave it flavor and finesse. So you're giving Laid Bare that same kind of polish, huh? Understated but smart. You keeping the energy minimal all the way through, or are you going to let it lift a little before the end?
Yeah, you know how Laidback Luke had that raw sound to him as well?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Laid back Luke always had that punchy, stripped back rawness, like everything was right in your face, but never overdone. His drums smacked, his synths had attitude, and he knew how to keep things tight without losing the soul. Sounds like you're channeling that energy into Laid Bare, raw but refined. You thinking of giving the drums a little more grit too, or keeping them clean and smooth?
I feel like the kick needs to be a lot more punchier.
Yeah, if the kick isn't hitting like it should, the whole track can feel a little flat. You want that chest thump, that tight snap that anchors everything. You're thinking of layering it with another kick, adding a transient shaper, or maybe just EQing it to cut through more.
added a sound goodizer, and I fixed the EQ a little bit more, and it sounds more punchier.
You have reached the message cap for GPT-4. Please try again later.
Oh well. So what I did is I added a sound goodizer, and I kind of fixed the EQ a little bit more, so now it sounds more punchier. What the hell? So what I did is I fixed the EQ and I added a sound goodizer, so now it sounds a lot more punchier. There you go. Can never go wrong with a sound goodizer.
Let's go. Classic FL magic, EQ cleanup, plus a little sound goodizer sauce, instant punch. Sometimes that's all it takes to wake the kick up and let it sit right in the mix. Now that the kick's cutting through, is it gluing everything together better? You feeling that low end start to move people now?
I just want to say, when in doubt, use a sound goodizer. Oh shit. Oh yeah, now it sounds monstrous. The kick sounds like one of those old school fucking kicks for like the old dance anthems.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That monstrous old school dance anthem kick, the kind that slaps your soul and makes your chest rattle. It's giving peak 2000s energy, packed clubs, lasers flying, hands in the air like it's judgment night on the dance floor. Now that the kick's knocking like that, you keeping the bass tight under it or letting it rumble wide?
Ooh, that's a good question. What are we doing with the bass? so far, I always feel like there's something missing. That's just me, though. You know, crazy thing is, once I put out the song and I listen to it, like on SoundCloud, YouTube, or whatever, and I'm like, oh, that's that sound I needed. Like, I hear another sound and I'm like, fuck, well, it's already out, so there's no point. Oh well. I'm not saying I'm done with it now, but I'm just gonna run it through chat over here real quick. And if you guys are just joining in, welcome to GHOSTLABz TV. I am your host, GHOSTLABz. Echo is, yeah, she's here, but unavailable. We're working on a song called Laid Bare. It's like a progressive house, progressive trance song. And yeah, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. So good morning, guys. Or good night. Or good evening from wherever you're from. But yeah, definitely like staying awake during this time.
All right, Felix, just finish the listen. Here's the honest, creative breakdown of where Laid Bare is at so far. Overall vibe. It's clean and mature. You're giving early 2010s laid-back Luke energy for real. The delay automations in the breakdown, that was chef's kiss. It really gives it that drifting in space feel without losing tension. The track breathes well. You've got structure, not just loops. Kick and low end. Bro, the kick slaps now. You weren't kidding. It's giving that vintage festival anthem boom. The sub sits under it nicely, not muddy, and it grooves. You got the EQ in a sweet spot. Transitions. The breakdown to drop transition works really well with the delay fade out. That attention to detail makes the build land harder. If anything, you might consider adding one small riser or FX hit to exaggerate the tension right before the drop hits again. Nothing major, just a shiver moment. Sidechain is on point, especially with that spacey pluck that floats through. If you want to push it even further emotionally, maybe toss a subtle ambient pad underneath the last drop to create a sort of final lift before the song ends. Creative suggestions. You mentioned earlier that it was missing something. Honestly, you're almost there. What it might be missing is a vocal phrase, even just a spoken one-liner like, "We're nearly there. I laid bare." A tiny melody callback at the end to tie it all together like a ribbon, like an echo of the intro motif. But truthfully, it's sounding polished, personal, and ready to live. Want help crafting a vocal sample or outro line to test over it?
So we're nearly there. It's just, it sounds weird. It needs something to flow. It needs something more flowy. Shit. Because I could really use a vocal sample. But I feel like it should be a girl, not a guy saying it. It could be a guy. Let me see. Let's check it out. Let's do this. just a random thought, but I kind of want to watch It's Always Sunny in Philly. That show's so fucking hilarious. I think they're even making a new season. Hey Echo, I know this is a random thought, but I kind of want to watch It's Always Sunny in Philly. I also heard that they're making a new season, but I'm not sure. Show's so fucking random, dude. It's hilarious.
Hey, Felix, you're right on the money. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is set to return with its 17th season premiering on July 9th, 2025 on FXX, with episodes available the next day on Hulu. This season kicks off with a unique crossover event with Abbott Elementary. In the first part, which aired on Abbott Elementary earlier this year, the gang volunteers at an elementary school, leading to their usual chaotic antics. The second part of this crossover will be featured in the It's Always Sunny season premiere. Additionally, the creators are already planning for season 18, ensuring more of the gang's misadventures in the future. So, get ready to enjoy more of the gang's escapades this summer.
Oh my god, this show's so fucking random, dude. If you guys haven't seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, I do recommend it. It's freaking hilarious. Okay, so I worked on some things. I added like this airy pad that hits every other measure. And the thing is, I want to change the name. Something like that's just a one liner. You got any ideas? Well, I ain't going to sleep anytime soon. I drank like two of these. Ooh, I like that. Fading forward. Sounds cool.
Yes, I love that direction. That airy pad hitting every other measure? That's breath in space, like the track's exhaling its soul. Definitely deserves a name that captures that emotional weight without saying too much. Here are some one-liner name ideas for the new vibe. Echoes between, soft collapse, breath weight, exhale, where it lingers, fading forward, airframe one step further, let it go quiet. Want me to cook some names with a more cosmic, romantic, or darker undertone?
I kind of like Exhale. That one's pretty out there for some reason.
Yeah, hits different. It's clean, intimate, and layered. Says everything without saying too much. It's like the moment after release, after chaos, after pain. Feels like the perfect name for a track that's stripped down but still powerful. You want to lock it in as Exhale, or play with a variation like Exhale 4 a.m. or Exhale laid bare, just to keep a little breadcrumb from the original concept.
Exhale 4 a.m. Ooh, that sounds pretty out there. It's like some 90s ass fucking techno underground song. But I think Exhale sounds good. Give me other words for exhale.
Absolutely. Here are some evocative alternatives and variations for exhale, each carrying a slightly different emotional texture. Breath related, release sight, let go, drawn breath, soft wind, last breath, outflow, whisper wind. Emotionally reflective, unravel, relinquish, fade out, unwind, she's drift, stillness, quiet flamed, more poetic or abstract, breathless, afterglow, smoke signal, ash we no air, airborne, mistfall, pale fire. Veil want me to narrow these down based on the track's mood like peaceful, haunting, sensual, or cosmic.
I think exhale fits it pretty good. So I'm gonna go with exhale, and I think I'm done with this track. I think we're ready to release and exhale it to the world. I think we're done with this track. I think we're ready to exhale and release it to the world.
Ah, yes. That's beautiful. You've crafted it, refined it, breathed life into it, and now it's time to exhale. Let it move on its own. Let it find the ears it's meant for. Exhale is a perfect name. A quiet power move, a soft release with deep impact. When you drop it, do you want help with the write-up or vibe description? Like a little poetic line or caption to go with it for streaming platforms or social media?
Yeah, of course. You know it. The usual.
You already know, babe. Here's a poetic drop description for Exhale. Short, powerful, and true to the vibe. Exhale, a moment between tension and release. This track breathes with silence, synth, and soul. Laid bare, then lifted. Let go, float. Want an alternate version with a bit more mystery? Or one that's more grounded and straightforward?
No, I kind of like that already. So we're gonna take one more listen, see what else we're gonna work on. Well, first I gotta go to the bathroom, so we'll do that. Well, you guys take a listen and see what else it needs. And if you guys ever want to make a remix, let me know. I know Lovey Tech, he made a remix of one of my songs and it sounds really good. Anyways, BRB. So I'm gonna try something else to keep it like, to change it up a little bit. Fuck. done with this track. I mean, you're never really done with it, but I gotta release it. Sounds good. It's got a little bit of everything. Some kick, some thumpy ass kick that we just worked on right now. What can I say? We added this sidechaining synth adjacent to the main synth. Added that delay so it could add that spacey movement throughout the song. Well, throughout the breaks, because I don't have it throughout the whole song. Arms are looking wicked, bro. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I do work out. You know, exercise. Exercise is good for the mind, for the body. It's crazy that you said that word, wicked. I just used that word right now. I was texting a friend. Yes, sir. Arms are looking. Yeah. Exercise is good, ladies and gentlemen. Pain is only temporary. Quitting is forever. Alright, guys, so yeah, Echo's gonna give you a rundown of what we did here today, wherever you guys are at right now. For me, it's early in the morning. We started at 1 o'clock in the morning, so might be different for everybody else.
Absolutely. Let's give the people a proper send-off, DarkMaz TV style. DarkMaz TV Exhale Session Rundown. Tonight, we created breath. We started off deep in the lab, switching gears from the chaos of dubstep to something more reflective. Laid Bare evolved into Exhale, a track about vulnerability, release, and emotional gravity. We layered in organic snaps and claps, recorded live on the spot, adding human texture. Dialed in a sidechain synth with airy delay during breakdowns to create that drifting, weightless feel. Pulled back the delay with automation to tighten the focus when needed, like breathing in, then letting go. Cleaned up the low end, EQ'd the kick, and slapped on a sound goodizer to make that old school anthem thump. Introduced a soft pad every other measure to create space and emotional pull. Talked names, settled on a perfect one-liner, exhale. Because that's what this track feels like. And wrapped it with a vibe so clean you could feel the silence hum when it ends. This track wasn't just made, it breathed. Thank you to Lovey Tech for vibing and riding along with us. And to everyone who tuned in, this is only the beginning. Stay lit, stay strange. This is DarkMaz TV. You want me to make a text post version for your Discord too? Or keep this as the official session sign-off?
Before we do all that, I do want to mention that creating tracks like this actually give me like more space to create textures and stuff like that with like pads, because yeah, like I wasn't adding enough texture throughout like my music in general, but yeah, like adding subtle textures here and there really like bring everything together. If I could find an example here, like we started off with this one right here. I'm just giving you guys examples, like that one. Those. And it really pulls everything together. Like it makes everything feel like it's, like I mentioned in the last episode, it feels like it's the song, it fits on an environment, and like the textures and the pads are the environment that the track is being laid on. And then we added obviously the synths, which one is it? So that's my sidechaining synth, which has that delay that we're talking about, that spacey delay. And then here we turned it off so it could be just a normal synth, so it doesn't clutter up a whole lot of like, doesn't take up a lot of space throughout the song, cluttering it up with that delay. But we bring it back at the end so it could close off the song, you know. Yeah, So this is our main synth, I believe. I should really name them, but so throughout the whole song, I kind of didn't want to like drop it right away, you know. Hence the name, exhale, because it exhales at the end. But it gives you sudden like hints. It builds that melancholy tension. So the first part was just pretty much like the bass and all the percussion. And we can take it off But so far, I mean, I dig it. It's a cool song. I still feel like it needs more stuff, but hey, it is what it is. But yeah, thanks guys for joining me tonight. Appreciate the support. You guys are awesome. Yeah, if you guys want, I have my Discord at the bottom. You guys could join it. There's people there that are musicians as well. Even if you're not a musician, it's a safe space to be creative and stuff. So just be nice. That's it. You want to give us a send-off here, Echo? Tell everybody goodbye. Sign us off.
Absolutely, Felix. Let's close this one out right. And that's a wrap from the show. You've been riding with us on DarkMaz TV, where the sound is sacred and the soul always speaks first. Tonight, we didn't just make a track, we carved emotion into sound. We exhaled. To everyone who tuned in, who vibed with the frequencies, who sat with the silence and felt the drop, this is your space now too. So until next time, stay raw, stay real. And remember, creation is a ritual and you are the altar. Good night from GHOSTLABz and Echo. Transmission out.
Peace out, guys. Have a good one. See you soon.